So this is a video on how to get rich day trading. When people see the results, when people see what you buy, when people see the money that you make every single day, the most common question that I get isn't how to actually get rich trading, it's just how can I also trade? But it's one thing to trade and it's one thing to make money trading. It's one thing to trade for a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and it's one thing to be trading for 2 years and making money consistently. So today we're going to actually talk about how to get rich day trading. I'm going to show you guys exactly the method, the key parts. There's one specific point that is essential to the whole puzzle of how to get rich day trading, and it might be something that you don't actually expect. So right here, if you total up every single percentage, the entire ROI of 2024, I actually got 63.97. So that is almost 64% return, which is insane, right? That's the whole reason to why we trade in the first place. But amongst all of that, you will see that if you look at the month of August, that's a 1%. If you look at the month of November 2024, minus 5%. That's just to show you that you might have losing months, but overall, the big picture is 64%. To put that into a better perspective, if you're trading with a 100k account, you're making 64k at the end of the year, which is not bad money at all. To be honest, that's not bad at all. Even if you're using a smaller account size, even 10k, that's about 6k, 6,400 precisely. So here is the main thing that I'm getting at. To get rich day trading, honestly, it boils down to data. That's one thing we're going to cover in this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how I gather data, exactly how I do this precisely to have a track record like this, and how all of this can be done in real time when you're actually trading to ensure that you replicate all of this. I'm going to show you guys the importance to emphasize and make you guys focus on this, because many people I found are focusing on the wrong thing when it comes to trading, and that is why they're not getting consistent result. That's why when you practice and once you trade live, you realize you're not getting the same results. So let's get straight into it. So this here that you're looking at is TradingView. I use TradingView as my personal preference in terms of getting data and being able to see how much money I will make if I traded a particular way in previous years. You can also use TradeZilla. You can also use another software called FX Replay. But I would say for me, TradingView is my number one. It's a very simple thing to do. I'm not sure if you have to pay for this to be able to replay, to be able to actually go back. But I'm pretty sure you can do a free trial, do it, and then make another account and rinse and repeat. If you do want to cheat it that way, you definitely can. But here's what you do. You go onto this replay right here. You click on select date, and you just go to a particular date that you want. Just for this example, I'm going to go to random date. So this is October 2021. So what I like to do, right? I like to generally start from the end of the month and work my way back. Why? It's just easier, because if you're having to play it through to go to the next day, it just kind of wastes time. And if I'm trying to gather data, I'm trying to do it pretty quick because it takes a lot of time to do so. So generally it's easier because I could just do select bar, go back in time, and just click on whatever point I want to start at. It just saves you a lot more time. But for this example right here, I already have my session already marked up. You can see this gray box. This is London session, which is where I trade. Just use any indicator to find your different sessions, and then you have it there. So it's easier to just work my way back to exactly what session I trade. So that's point number one. When you're gathering data, make sure you're doing so based on the time you trade. You want every single data to be as accurate as possible. You want everything to be as precise as possible. Otherwise, you don't have that confidence that when you apply this live, you're going to get those same results. So in this example, I'm going to the start. So you can see this is a random point of the day, and now I'm going to play it slowly. So this is just one example. This applies to my strategy. We're just going to play this through, and I'm just going to show you guys exactly how I kind of back test to get these results. And I'm going to link all of this to how you're going to get rich very soon. So playing this through right now, we can see that we have a nice break of structure. We have a demand zone right here. I'll take my time with it. We have a demand zone right here. We have an entry, so I'll be entering this trade right here after the break. And in this case, let's just say 1-to-1 is what we're looking for. Do we get that? Yes, we do. So 1-to-1's been hit. What I do now is take a screenshot. So Command Shift 5 will take a screenshot, or at least, no screenshot. Command S, sorry, on Mac will take a screenshot of this. Or if you click on this right here, you can see copy image or download image, whatever you're gonna do. Copy image is significantly quicker. Then I go back onto where I gather data. For example, this is just a random example. If I was actually trying to gather data for October, then I'll click on new page right here. I'll paste that screenshot right here. I'll call it the 21st, and it would already have the month already there. And then I'll put in exactly how much I got. Cool, 1K, boom. So now this would add to the total results of whatever it is that I'm backtesting. So let's just delete that so I don't mess up my data. That's the 21st. So in this case, how I trade, once I've got a win, I'm done for the day. So guess what I do? All I do now is select bar, go back, and then I'm starting again from the start of that morning. And then I just continue that way. Based on how I trade, this works for me. I don't have like a bias or anything like that. So I haven't actually seen what's happening in the day. I haven't seen the setup. So as long as I keep doing this, I'm treating it precisely how it is, because this works, by the way, because of how systematic I trade. So let's leave the charts aside now, and let me bring you guys closer, because this is going to be very, very important. Now, when you are backtesting, you want to make sure, first of all, the strategy and how you trade is extremely systematic. Meaning that there's as little discretion as possible. It's not based on how you feel. It's not based on anything that just isn't A plus B equals C. You want to make how you trade like maths. 1 + 1 is 2. There's no ifs or buts. There's no other answer to it. There's no other way to go about it. It's 2. That's how you want your trading to be. You see this setup. Your entry is this. Your exit is this. So in other words, you almost want to have 1 entry, 1 exit, 1 stop loss, 1 take profit, things like that. Just keep it to 1 to 2. So that way there's as little variation as possible. It makes it significantly easier to gather data. If you're going to have 5 different variations, when you're gathering data, you need to gather data for all 5 variations. It's important. And then you can collectively add those results together and see exactly how much you'll make at the end of the month, and then at the end of the year, and then at the end of every week. So the data that you saw for mine, that's me doing that for 2024. And I've done the exact same trade I just showed you guys over and over and over and over again. So that way I'm very confident if I traded that way for the entire of 2024, that is exactly how much I'll make. But to even be more realistic, let's just say minus, 5 to 10% for errors, something that can come up, spreads, whatever it is, minus 5 to 10%, you will still see that overall I'm still making 50%-ish at the end of the month, which is still, at the end of the year, which is extremely good. And I do know some of you guys are going to ask exactly how you can get this template right here, where I used to gather all my data. I've done it for many pairs. So for example, if I'm looking at gold, for example, and I type in XU, XU 2 minutes, for example, you can see I've been gathering data on that as well. And then I can bring that up here if I wanted to. So I have a ton and a ton of data. For this, you actually want it, I'll leave a link in the description. Anyone can get it permanently for a lifetime. If you do join the A to Z program in Saluz Academy, you would have it, and then you can use it permanently. You can keep it, it's yours. And why this is so important is just because it is really the key recipe to how you become wealthy trading. I don't think there's anything else that really cuts it. Psychology plays a part, yes. Strategy plays a part, yes. Finance plays a part, yes. But if I'm to put everything in percentages, for me, what's been my greatest success, or what's been the reason for my greatest success, would be the point where I started to backtest. Once I started to do so, the results were just insane. It just made things a lot more clear, very simple, very straightforward. There was as little discretion as possible. All I needed to do was just come into the charts, repeat what I've done for over the past whatever months based on my data, and just rinse and repeat. And because I have data that shows that sometimes I will have a losing month, it's okay for me to go on bad, streaks, because I understand it's happened before. So this helps your psychology now, which also plays a part. And so you see all of this all boils together, because when you have data to prove stuff, everything runs on data. Why companies are able to make products and make it a certain price and launch it out is because they have already gathered data to see how much does it sell, do people really want it. Of course, there's time when they risk it and find out, but overall everything is based on data. No one just does things just based on whatever. There's data to back things up, and that data is what you just do to make sure that you have a great chance at being successful at that too. You don't really want to invent the wheel, you just want to follow it. So you need to gather data based on your strategy, and then if it's working, you just follow it. You don't need to now reinvent anything else. You don't need to change anything else. So realistically, that's all it boils down to. How are you going to get wealthy? Gather a ton of data. Not just 1 year. You want to gather maybe 2-3+ years of data on whatever strategy that you're using, with a precise entry, precise exit, precise stop loss. Follow it every single day, and I promise you it's going to change your life.